Good morning, everybody. My name is Juniper Bloom Mystique, or whatever time of day it is for you, right? What is up, game changers? Welcome to the end game. Who I am is not like anybody else you're going to find or see or listen to. So the things I say might be quite unique, okay? But they are all very relevant, and they're very important for all of you. For I am in truth the one who brought about the ascension, the entire ascension. From clearing Mount Shasta to activating pyramids to freeing Jesus' soul to uniting all twin flames to bringing down Christ's light, opening up the God portal, returning the all-seeing eye, undoing all false veils, all false contracts, and clearing out the entire collective shadow. I opened up all 13 gates to heaven. The 13th is the one of heaven. There's not 12 as Revelations 21:12 speaks of, because a lot of what they would tell you is a lie. All of that has come through me and happened to me as a part of my own awakening journey on this channel in particular, which is probably why Spirit wanted me to do this channel. Now I can see that. And it all plays out here. And I upload a lot of the workshops here. But a lot of the work that I've done is in truth into the path of righteousness, which you can actually purchase. You can take that path home. It gets you through all 13 gates. It heals you completely. The choice is yours, however, to not allow the shadow to reintegrate. Because I also do that, I clear your karma. You have to have all karma brought to the surface. You have to choose differently in which you've chosen before. All of our past lives are playing out at one time because this is the great reset. The ascension is the return of Christ, okay? It is the great reset, meaning we will never be here to do this again. You will never know the earth like you knew it before. It will not play out repeatedly where we come back each lifetime to clear karma. That will not exist anymore. Okay? The ascension, some people call Judgment Day. Spirit doesn't call it Judgment Day because God does not judge, my friends. Okay? That is a false depiction. God is unconditional love. Only people who are not in their hearts, not in love, judge. That is the shadow. That is ego. That is false concepts and creates karma in every way. It removes you from God. Okay? The judgment day, or what God calls you, reap what you sow, right? What I brought about is going to cause you to reap what you sow. It's all karmic based. Every gate that you will have no choice but to go through. If you have any karma or shadow, it will kick back in karma. Okay? When I took all the animals through, I could see that. I could only repair some of their DNA. I could only heal some of them. Others couldn't make it through at all. And it was a major karma kickback. Okay, now everything I've done has happened through workshops. It happens live on this channel. It happens to and through me quite frequently. Okay, now this full moon is what I'm going to be talking about. All right, this full moon that's happening right now, it's a full moon eclipse. And if you're paying attention to my channel, if you're new here, I encourage you to watch the last few videos. Everything I do is for the purpose of what's happening to you right now, okay? Everything I've done, activating the Eye of Horus and the Eye of Ra about a week ago, I did that on this channel in a guided meditation, because who I am and who my DM is. I hold the Eye of Ra, he holds the Eye of Horus, Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, Sekhmet and Horus, okay? And in order for everybody to see clearly, they need to be able to have those aligned. And because the DM has not stepped up yet, I've had to do it all on my own, from protections, creating the dome, everything. Eventually he will. I have faith. I don't know who he is at this point because my original one did pass away. The ascension almost killed me. Okay, it was an attack on me the whole entire way. Attack on my DM, and the first one did not make it through. Okay, so I did get a walk-in. So you'll hear me talk about that a lot too. Yesterday was very amazing to me. I did a video yesterday on the twin flame shadow healing, and I spoke of what the moon was going to be about a little bit in there too. This moon is truly about, first of all, there's consequences to your actions, okay? But the only thing about that is if you are not seeing clearly, it's hard to have full understanding of what you're choosing to do. Okay, so this moon, this eclipse moon, the sun and the moon, everything I've done lately is about the sun and the moon, Phoenix rising. Yesterday, my DM took the soul of Jesus, which was absolutely quite beautiful. If you know anything about the work that I did, a couple years ago, I freed Jesus' soul. He did not die on a cross. That was because they had his soul captive. I freed it. I set it free. And instead of going up in heaven, it went sideways into the Garden of Eden, into a flower, because my DM was not ready to take it on yet. His heart was still in darkness, okay? And the first one still would not get out. So that's really what happened. So yesterday, I didn't see it coming, but this is relevant for all. My DM actually got to take on that soul, okay? There has been a rebirth. I don't know exactly what that means. If I have a third twin flame, I don't know. I'm not really trying to think about that, though. What I'm here to talk about today is the importance of who I am, my story, what I've been doing. Every piece of everything that I do, from every word that I say to all the work that I do, is very relevant for the ascension. It is all information you need. It's all keys. I realized again yesterday that every course I've ever done, every workshop I've ever done, is the way you are going to make it into the new earth. It is the way to live in the new earth, okay? Now, the new earth is already here. I have rebirthed her. I have opened up the gates and spread all over Garden of Eden, all over her. And what does not align will fall, okay? But as it's falling, God's like, they need to be able to see clearly. So if you truly look at all the work that I've done recently, activating the Eye of Horus and the Eye of Ra in everybody's brain, uniting twin flames, clearing the shadow again, so that they can see love, right? We are supposed to be aligned under love, under the unity of one for all and all for one. That is God. We are all connected, okay? We are all connected. So what we do affects one another. And every structure is about to fall in front of you. It's already happening. I've moved poles. I have, like I said, activated pyramids. Waterways are shifting. They're going to continue to change. I cleared the Nile. I did so many things in the work that I've done over the last 4 years. And everything that I do is going to kick back and play out in your reality. Okay, so even if you don't watch some of these workshops, it's already going to affect you. It's better to know, though, what's coming your way. Because in order to be able to make the right decisions, you have to be able to see clearly. And that's what this moon is all about. It's about reflecting your truth. Who are you? What are you supposed to do? What is the reality of what's going on in your existence, in the world around you? Why is everything truly happening? I absolutely have all the answers, but people can't see clearly. And it came out yesterday that unless the DM, my twin flame, actually truly values what I've done and looks at me without a lens of love, others don't do the same. Okay, and so this is a detriment. We are missing some of that alignment of truth, of unity, of love, of understanding. And I have continually had people who've watched me the entire time still treat me like crap. And it's like, you don't realize who I am and what we're doing. This is about union. This is about unity of love. And my friends, there are consequences to our actions. Okay? And so this moon, this energy right now is going to illuminate what doesn't belong. Everything in your life, if you're struggling, if things are falling apart, it's because they're built on a false foundation. It is not where you're supposed to be. So if you're struggling in relationships and like that, you know what I mean? Like true struggle, you just can't seem to get them to align because probably they're not meant to. Okay? Jobs, if you feel really nasty going to work every day, if you constantly feel ill, if you constantly wake up dreading it, all of these things are signs that it is not supposed to be, right? Or if maybe you've convinced yourself, hey, this is supposed to be, but then everything is falling apart, right? All of a sudden it's just like a trifecta of boom, 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 things falling apart, okay? Tires are flat, washing machine breaks, like all these things happen. It's the universe telling you that that is not where you're supposed to be, okay? Because there are consequences to your choices right now that you cannot take back. These are soul consequences, okay? So if you can't see clearly, if you can't see God, if you can't hear God's call, if you can't put your energy where it's supposed to be right now, you can't reap the benefits of what you sow. You can't clear what you need to clear. It should be about love. Love should be in the air. Love should be all around. We should be focused on love, self-development, self-growth, healing thyself, loving one another unconditionally. And we are supposed to be able to have the balls, the audacity, the gusto, the moxie to go where others will not go and to see what others are not willing to see. That's what this full moon is all about. You are straddling both worlds, and you cannot do that. One world is dying, and either you will die with it, or you will be reborn into the new earth. period. It is real as real can be. It's not about getting your popcorn and being happy everything's falling, because it's all going to change everything, okay? Everybody is going to feel this in some way, shape, or another. Everybody's going to experience these things. And they're not all pretty, right? Is it pretty to watch a mass shooting in Maine? I don't think so. But as that is developed, so consider this. The energy is going to make things crumble. It is going to either anchor darkness into your heart or cause you to purge it by your free will. Okay? It's gonna amplify. People are supposed to be able to see the path home, right? But then you have people mocking it. You have people not wanting to even watch the videos of the work that I've done, and that is God, because who I am is not normal. But I don't know how many times I tell people, look, I resurrected Christ right here, and they don't even click it to see. That's sad. It means you don't really want to see the truth. You don't want to stand in your own power. And we are not here to just fall in line of you know what I mean? People who stewardess who have to have somebody telling them what to do all the time. No. Your job is to get in your power. To be able, in the new earth, you must be in your power. You must truly be able to understand how to create abundance, how to create your reality, because you are a powerful creator. But unless you can see clearly, chances are extremely high that you are going to make decisions that are going to have dire consequences at this time. So this moon is causing things to be amplified, okay? It's an alignment to be able to see clearly. And everything I've done over this last week and a half, however long it's been, is relevant to that. Everything I do turns around and plays out in your reality if you're truly paying attention to the work that I do. I do something, then people like De La Roca will see it a day or two later. Because everything I do is written in the Akashic Records. Everything I do is the reality of the world that you exist upon. That is who I am. I'm not normal. It's not normal to activate pyramids. It's not normal to be the one to free Jesus' soul and to tell you this is exactly what happened. And I didn't even know until it all came through me and happened to me during my own awakening process. Because that's what happened. I had a Kundalini awakening myself. And then all this stuff started happening to me and through me. Nobody had to teach me. Spirit would say, do this, and I would say, okay, because I am extremely loyal to that. Now, how do we reach these places? How do we be able to see clearly? How do we realize that we are all connected, and everything that I do, the choices that I make today, don't just affect me. They affect everybody that's connected to me. So if I choose not to rise, they will never be able to see clearly to do so. And I said this with my first twin flame. When he was truly choosing not to listen, not to follow God's call, the angels would literally tell him, we can't go where you're at, because he was surrounded by fallen angels. And he had a child. And that was the most devastating part to me. Is he chose not to listen to God's call. He chose not to step up, even though our souls already went whoosh. So I feel my twin flame. That's what people don't realize. We have already united in energetic form in our soul connection. And so even though it's a different one, which I think it might even be, I don't know, I feel him, okay? So where he was lacking God, it felt like this horrible, painful void. And we would say, hey, I was heartbroken because the moment he chose not to step up and God said enough, they took his soul out, and who he was is no more. And so his family doesn't get to ascend either. Okay, because you're a chosen one, right? If you can hear me, if you are here, you are supposed to help change the path of your existence. We are supposed to go where others will not go and be willing to see what others will not see. And resistance is there to distract you or redirect you. Okay? So when God says something, resistance will come up to distract you from that because it's a fight for your soul. That's what this is. This is the end of ways. It's the end of days for some and the end of ways for all. Anything outside of God will not exist anymore. Okay? Some will go, some will stay, and some will never know life this way. Okay? The ones who get to stay are the ones who heal enough, heal everything, go in through the path, get their review, get their keys, get into the gates. That's how it plays out. Okay, I've done this already a few times now. You also have to be in your full power. You have to know how to be the healer that you are, because we're all healers in some way, shape, or form. You're capable of moving energy. You're capable of moving mountains. You're capable of healing yourself. But you also need to know how the energies work in the new earth, because it's not the same as third dimensional reality. It's not. Okay? There's no more false veil. There's no more denseness. You create your reality. Okay? So right now, the most important thing you can do with this full moon, with the energy all around you, this is a full moon eclipse of the sun and moon, right? Everything I've done lately is about the sun and the moon, the eye of Ra, the eye of Horus, the sun and the moon. On my other channel is an exercise about the sun and the moon and aligning and healing through it. Being able to see clearly. Everything I do is very, very important, in particular for the ascension and for the new earth and for the existence of the betterment of all. Because that is our future, if you stay. Okay. In order to be able to reap the benefits of what you sow, you cannot choose to straddle in between both worlds anymore. That's absolutely impossible. Okay. So the moon is going to reflect what you need to see one final time. Okay, this is like it, because from here on out, everything that you choose to do right now, there are extreme consequences one way or the other. That's not a joke. And I'm watching it play out daily. Okay. Energy is crazy, because I recently had somebody throwing a lot of shade my way, a lot. And I couldn't see clearly where it was coming from. But I do now. And people don't even realize they're doing it half the time. Okay, all you have to do is think negatively about something or someone, and you hurt them. We are all connected. Okay. You must surrender to the call of love. You must surrender to your heart space. That's what you have to do in this full moon at this time. Anything where there's love, it's going to show you where love does not exist. Okay. And so that you can make the choices. It's not about what everybody else is doing around you. It's not about what everybody else expects you to do or thinks you should do. It's about going where others are not willing to go and seeing what others are not willing to see right now. And the universe is going to do it for you, right? They're going to show you what isn't working. It's going to show you and amplify what's meant to fall away, because the structures are already crumbling. You don't have a choice, okay? And if you're anchored into something that is not of God, you will fall with it. And I've said this time and time again, especially when I cleared Mount Shasta this last time. Okay. Mount Shasta was not filled with light. And I still see people to this day, because they're following somebody who's not of light, anchoring further into that place. And it's like, dude, like, here's my proof. I have Mount Shasta part 1 and 2 uploaded for you guys. I tell you about the change of tides coming in through San Francisco. I tell you that people are not going to see it coming, and it's going to be quite painful. Okay, I've cracked the earth from Mount Shasta all the way down the fault line when I burned Archangel Samael. But only 34 people have watched the part 2. And for some reason, no matter how many times I'm like, hey, look at this, because it's important for you to know, they won't do it. And like came out yesterday in the Twin Flame video, is that if the DM is not giving respect to what I've done and showing love towards me, others don't either. So what we need to focus on is love. Everything needs to be amplified through love. The words you speak need to be love. In the new earth, I can't do anything outside of the vibration of love, because that is not the new earth, okay? It doesn't align. I used to do murder mysteries. It was one of my favorite things to do as I was awakening, and I didn't know why I was doing it. Spirit was like, hey, I would just see these things. People would ask me, hey, what happened to my loved one? Gannon Stauk I actually crossed him over. People don't realize I don't talk about it a lot. But when Gannon Stauk, some of you might remember that story, his stepmother murdered him in Colorado a few years ago. But she declared him as missing first. She lied. But at first, I was like, show me what happened to him, Spirit. And they did. And it was overwhelming. It took my breath away. I was like, I stopped the vision. I was like, I can't see that anymore. It was brutal. It was brutal. So I knew right away what happened to him before anybody else did, before she admitted, before anything was happened. I saw what happened. I saw where he went. And then I put it out there. I notified the police and everything. And then it was on social media, and she moved his body. And that's also well known now. And he ended up in Florida. But I saw it all. But then the next thing I knew, I also knew he was drugged. And because of that, he didn't know what happened to him. So the next morning, he was in my energy, and I'm like, "What is going on? Who are you?" And I knew, and I crossed him over. And it was a very sad and beautiful moment. But I can't do those anymore because they don't align with the new earth. Okay? Who I am is light. I bring light through. I'm part of that big solar flash. My DM and I are supposed to bring that through. We have to change the world in love. Okay? Everything has to be done through love. And if it's not, these are choices and consequences that are going to be etched in your soul. Okay? They're going to have dire consequences. That's not a joke. Okay? So I can't focus on lower vibrational things. Everything I have to do has to be about my joy, my love, balance from the heart center. And if you can't do that, you can't stay in the new earth. Okay? You cannot create abundance in the new world because you have to create it. It's heaven's vibrations. I love that word. Osriel told me that one day. So you need to realize that we're all connected. Where you put your energy creates the outcomes in which you will receive. Okay? And you cannot straddle both worlds at this time. This moon is meant to really, truly reflect truths to you. You must know what's coming and what's going and what's happening. Okay? I will tell you right now is most people need the path to righteousness. But I can't even get barely anybody to see what it is. That's a problem. It's a detriment in our soul. Okay? We must be through the lens of love. Love for everything we do. If you don't love the work that you're doing, if it's not heart-centered, get out. And get out now. Heal your way out. See your way out. This full moon, this eclipse moon is very important for seeing clearly. Okay? That's why I did the work that I did before it came. If you're watching the work that I do, if you're new here, go back a week or so and watch all the work. I did a guided meditation to heal your eye, activate the eye of Ra and the eye of Horus in your brain, because that's your masculine and feminine God side, right? That's God. It's to be able to see clearly. I will have more brain activations too coming into the end of the end of the year. And I even said that we were going to lose part of the population before I could do that. Every time darkness falls, every time things are exposed, we rise in vibration. Okay? And that anchors you further into any darkness that you have in you. So you must be able to see clear. You must surrender to the call without hesitation, without expectation, and without fear. Because we're all connected. So if you're going to let fear, your shadow, all these things define you and to dictate where you go, then that is what you're going to cause to happen to the rest of your loved ones. Okay? It's not a fake. It's the reality of it. Okay? So you cannot choose to straddle both worlds, and a lot of people are. That's because you haven't healed enough to get out of one into the other. Okay? In the path to righteousnness, it's more complex than you know. I take you out of the whole virus matrix wall. You upgrade your CNS, your DNA, eyes. Every system is evolving. It's about evolution. Again, you will be reborn here, or you have to go. Okay? And they said yesterday in the Twin Flame video that my DM was reborn. And I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's the same second DM or if it's another one. I don't know. And I don't want to think about it too much. But what I will tell you is if he is lacking love towards me, everybody will. And it hurts us all. We must surrender to the call. We absolutely, utmost, must surrender to the call of our heart, even if it's complicado, right? Even if it's difficult, even if it takes you out of your comfort zone. Because here's the thing is, we're not meant to fit in, and we're not meant to, I don't have to impress others. Who I need to impress is myself. I don't have to worry about what others think about me. I need to worry about what I think of me. If I'm not happy, why am I not willing to make my happiness? I choose love over misery. I choose love over sorrow. I choose love over fear. I choose love over any temptation that has ever come my way. And that is how I brought about the ascension the whole entire way. I had to choose love. Okay? We must choose love. And if you put your net out there and through things that make your heart sing, that make you feel really good, and you're constantly surrendering to the call, that's how you grow. That's how you awaken more and more every day. And that is how you make your way into the new earth. And that's how you create in the new earth. Okay? Because God will tell you where to go. And the reason why love is so important. Okay, love, the heart space, follow your heart, open your heart is measured, blah, 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 is because God is the vibration of love. Unconditional love is truly the highest vibration you can go. Okay, and that is in your heart space. So if your heart's closed, you can't hear God. If your heart is not pure, you can't create in the new earth. And even a pure heart, I've seen this happen, doesn't mean that you're going to listen to God every way. There's still things to do, okay? So nobody is guaranteed an entry. We all have work to do. I know this because I created the path home. It is my path to righteousness. It's a journey. It doesn't take one day to get there. It takes a good 7 months, okay? You've got to surrender to the call. You need to be able to see clearly and hear clearly in order to make choices that don't have dire consequences on your soul. Because that is how real these choices that you make right now are. It's not like a choice any other time. It's not like, oh, I'll get to come back next lifetime and redo it again. There's no more karmic play out here. You have to clear it all or you don't make it into the new earth. Okay? So with this moon energy, it's to amplify for you what isn't working, what is outside of love. And your job to use this new moon. How do you use this moon right now, this full moon energy? How do you use it correctly? You need to see what others are not willing to see. You need to allow what's being shown to be seen, okay? No matter what, not about others around you. It's about your soul, okay? Because that's how you affect others. And you need to surrender to the call through love. Make sure everything you're doing is through true love, your truth of your soul, the truth of your heart, opened heart, surrendering to God. Open heart, surrendering to love, knowing that we're all connected. So just by doing that, you're helping others to do the same. Okay, so there's going to be others trying to sway you. There's going to be things that try to tell you, oh, don't do that. That's stupid. You're crazy. Blah, 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 blah. That's not God. Okay, that's a shadow. That's your karma. That's where you've chosen against love before. So it's your job to choose love. That's what this moon is going to do for you. That's how you use this moon at this time. Choose love, choose it wisely, choose it diligently, choose it over and over and over again, even if it's difficult, even if it makes you feel scared, even if it makes you feel vulnerable. Vulnerability can suck, but it's not a weakness, it's a strength. Being vulnerable is a true strength. Okay? These choices have dire consequences because there's not a lot of time left. So the choice to not see God, to not take the path home, to not understand what it is, to not hear God's call, whatever that is for you, is a dire consequence. It will remove you from him. So if I'm creating fear in you, somebody told me that, like, everything you say creates fear. That's you. And I've said this 1,000 times over. If what I say sparks anger, sparks fear, that's my job. I am a master healer. Who I am is I brought this about. So I'm supposed to amplify in you, just like the moon is doing right now, what does not suit you, what you need to heal. So if you're going to let that fear dictate you, push you away from me, you can close yourself off to God all you want. I can't stop you. But what I'm going to tell you is anything that anybody triggers within you, no matter who it is or what it is, it's because it's in you to heal. So use it and use it wisely. Heal it. Return back to love. Everything you do must be through love. And it's on you otherwise. I take no responsibility for your choices. I cannot. That goes against your free will. But no matter what, I do what God says. I am the one who brought it about. So, well, it affects you more than you know. Who I am affects the whole entire collective soul more than you know. Okay? And we always put out the call. It's always there. I'm always telling you. Everything I say is so very important. Everything I do is absolutely a tool and your path home. Everything. So you can either choose to see through the lens of love. That's what this moon is going to help you do. And this eclipse, okay? And put your net in anchoring into love. That's where you get beauty. That's where joy will rise. That's where abundance will flow. Or you can choose to stay anchored into a false world, which is a dire consequence, and your soul cannot flow. Okay? And remember, we are all connected. Everything you do will affect everybody who's connected to you, whether you realize it or not. Okay. So if people are telling you, oh, you're crazy, and you let that dictate you, you're letting that anchor further into them. Period. Why do we do that? Why are we a trigger happy society? Why do we care what other people say? Why not stop wanting to be miserable? Why not allow truth and love to guide the way? Open your heart, surrender to the call, and realize, see clearly what is happening once and for all, because that is what this moon is about. Okay? This is it's power. It's not fear, it's your power. Either way you go, the world is changing. You can't stop that. I knew over a year ago, year and a half, maybe 2, that what I was doing, there was no going back upon. Once I went so far, there was no stopping it. Okay? You can either choose to go and stay. It's up to you. But here's your tools. Okay? Go where others will not go. See what others will not see. And realize that where there is resistance to that, anything outside of that, it's a distraction to keep you anchored into a false reality. Because it is a battle for your soul. That's not a joke. People need to take that seriously. It's not just as frou-frou as, oh, I'm not comfortable, I don't want to. Okay, but you don't know where you're going. So God says they need to see clearly. So even though the DM had not stepped up yet, I had to activate both sides in your brain as if we had. Okay? Everything has to be amplified through love. So consider that. Okay? And then use that as a powerful tool. Where are you not in love? Self-love is your access to God, because God is love. So where you love yourself unconditionally, look, dude, I'm not happy with this. I'm sorry, I can't be miserable anymore. Get out of it. And everything is really good at smoke screens. It makes you think one thing and it's not even real. So that's what this moon is about, okay? It's a clarity of the mind. That's actually the work that I've done. I already did all the work to get you here. Now it's your job to make the correct decisions, surrendering to love. If you look at my channel, I've done all the work to lead you here. I activated the Eye of Ra and the Eye of Horus. I did things with the twin flames yesterday for activation in love, clearing out any shadow that keeps us from love. All of these are very relevant, so I encourage you to watch them, because that tells the whole entire story of what this moon is doing for you. But your job in the moon, what you can do right now to use this moon wisely, is surrender to the call of love. Everything you must do must be an amplification of love through love and the truth of your heart. Okay? Otherwise, you anchor into consequences the choices that have dire consequences, and we cannot receive abundance. Instead, it will be a void. Okay? Misery. Now, the guy who did the shooting, my heart goes out to all those victims. I can't even imagine. I love going bowling with my kids, and I'm like, ooh. It's sad, and it's scary, but it's something I knew was coming. I knew these things were going to be more amplified, because as the earth shifts, it's going to really draw out any negativity. And those who are truly negative will completely just unleash. This is the end, my friends, okay? It's not going to get any better until it's all done. So we will all be affected. That's why everything we do must be through love. Okay? Anchor into love, surrender to the call of God only through the heart space. Self-love, self-joy, whatever God says, it's the nudge from the heart. And better believe there will be resistance against that. It is your job to stand tall and in your own power. And if you choose not to, that's not of God. Okay? So the choice is yours. Truly is. It's free will. God's not going to force anybody to make it or to come home to him. But he will always open the doors. And that's what I do every day. I keep putting out everything I say is very important. People can choose to hear what they want to see, hear what they want to hear, see what they want to see, and anchor further into darkness. There's nothing more I can do. But I will continue to show the way. Okay? So like De La Roca will talk about, oh, you got to get out of the matrix. You can't work these false jobs and things like that. There are certain things that are not necessarily built out of darkness, okay? But if it doesn't align with your heart, get the fuck out. Okay, because your heart knows the way home. So much love. See you guys later. Be a game changer and change the game. Hasta la vista, baby.